Hello children, this video is the continuation part of Standard 6 Geography chapter number 3 Water Bodies. We will start with page number 49, Sea. A sea is a large body of salt water that is surrounded in whole or part of by land. The sea is smaller than the ocean, but they are larger than the lakes. Though vast are smaller and shallower than the ocean, the waves are very smaller and no big currents flow through them. It contains a great variety of salt and minerals in solution. The sea, the salinity percentage, salinity is the percentage of salt present in the sea, is very high, and it has minerals of solution dissolved in it. It also contains magnesium chloride, magnesium sulfate, potassium sulfate and calcium carbonate. So this shows you that the sea has lot many of minerals dissolved in the water, and the salinity, that is the percentage of salt in the water, is also very high. Moving on, next let me tell you there are two types of seas: marginal sea and inland sea. Marginal sea is the division of an ocean, that is a part of the ocean which is sometimes enclosed between the islands or group of islands, that is archipelagos or a peninsula. That means it will have land all the sides, and in between you will find the water body, that is the marginal sea. The water body which is enclosed by lands from other sides is known as the marginal sea. And the next one is inland sea. Inland sea are the large lakes which are found in the continental areas. Here continental areas means the sea which belongs to the particular continents. So the sea which belong to the particular continents, those sea are known as inland sea. We have number of sea which are differentiated: marginal sea and inland sea. Marginal sea, you have Bering Sea, Caribbean Sea, North Sea, Arabian Sea. Examples of inland sea you can see: Black Sea, Caspian Sea, Aral Sea, Red Sea and Dead Sea. It is known as Dead Sea because the percentage of salt, the salinity percentage in this sea is very high, that is 33%. Highest percentage of salinity is found in the Dead Sea, that is the inland sea. Moving on, next, that is your lakes. Lakes are the large body of water on the land which covers water, which holds water more than a pond. It occupies the hollow land of the surface in which the water accumulates. The lakes, they vary in size, depth and shape and the mode of formation, like how the lake is made. Some lakes are man-made and some are natural lakes. So it depends on the mode of formation, that what kind of size it will be, what shape it will be and what depth it can hold. They may be existing temporary or some may be even permanent. They often get water in the lake often gets evaporated because of the heat, and during the rainfall it also gets filled up again. Lakes also get filled up by the fresh water from the rivers without flowing. So these lakes may be called, you can name some of them: Lake Poyang and the Great Lakes of America are some lakes which are filled up by the rivers. The water don't flow out from these lakes. In the regions where precipitation is very low and in evaporation, there are few rivers which are enough to reach the sea. They form the inland drainage system, and due to intense evaporation the percentage of salt gets very high. Like you have the Dead Sea. found in the greatest lake of the USA, which has 220 parts per thousand. Moving on next to the importance of lakes. In different kind of countries, lakes play a major role in the importance. They play a very dominant role in human life, as they support the economic, social and cultural life of the people. They help in mode of transportation. The source of food found in the lake, as they hold fresh water, is very high, so they are very much dependent. People are very much dependent on the lakes. Moving on next, they provide a cheap and convenient form of transport of bulky and heavy goods such as coal, iron, machinery and the timber, the wood. Moving on, if we see economic and industrial development, each settlement and town sites are very much influenced by the presence of lakes. Naturally, if you have a lake in your town, if you have a great big lake, freshwater lake in your town, the industries and the economic of the particular town will be very much affected by that particular lake. For example, the Great Lakes of St. Lawrence waterways are responsible for the development of industries in the area. The St. Lawrence is very much directly proportional for the industries development in that area. They hold large amount of water storage, either can be natural or can be artificial origin. The lake can be man-made or can be natural, but they play a very important role in the domestic supply of the town, to water supply to the towns and the industries. Moving on next, importance, very important is some lakes also provide electricity, the hydroelectricity power generation. In the mountainous districts, lakes or man-made reservoirs are also used as generating hydroelectric power. And this we all know, agricultural purpose. No agriculture is possible without the supply of water. Here the lakes play a very important role. Some places where there are no natural lakes found, people also construct the man-made lakes, they fill it by water and they help in agriculture. Lakes provide water for irrigation. They are the major source of food, as they provide freshwater fish. They are the major source of minerals, as they provide rock salts. They control the river flow, helps to control the river flow, as the water from the river can be collected, accumulated in the river, in the lakes. They also serve as tourist attraction and the health resource. For example, the Dal Lake in Kashmir attracts tourists from the whole world. The Lake Geneva and the Lake Ukraine in Switzerland also attracts tourists from the whole world. Here, the glacier formed lakes of the Alps have made the tourist industry a national occupation for the Swiss. So we are seeing about Ukraine and Switzerland and Lake Geneva. You can also watch Dal Lake, a very much high tourist attraction. It plays a very important role in the tourist attraction of our country. You also know about the Chilika Lake in Odisha, which also provides tourist attraction in Odisha. Moving on next, the rivers. The river is a water body that flows down a hill in channel, usually towards the ocean. When rain falls, part of it seeps into the ground. Some part of the water seeps into the ground, some are evaporated back into the atmosphere, and the rest water runs off in streams and tributaries of rivers. They flow down to the sea. Rivers. The source of rivers may be a spring, a lake or an upland region, can be anything. Where precipitation is heaviest, that means rainfall is very high, where there is a slope down which the runoff can flow. So the source of river can be anything, can be a spring, can be a lake where the rainfall is very high, or where the floating is easy, the down slope is very easy, so the formation of river can be very easy. So you can closely observe the diagram given in page number 53, the stages of the river. So this is your river. So it is clearly showing you the source. The source is the glaciers from where the ice melts, it flows down and becomes the river here. The river flows and it falls down. This is the mouth of the river. In between it forms tributary, it forms meander, it forms delta and estuaries, channels, different channels, and this is the mouth of the river. So this is all about the stages of river. In my next video I will tell you about characteristics of the river and the rest part of the chapter. Thank you, children.